Hello everyone, welcome back to week 2 of my recording on JFrog Artifactory. So JFrog internal data shows that most enterprises use 12 plus package types, and 90% of applications depend on open source software, either for a Java, Python, Node, Docker, name all the softwares available in the market. So additionally, there is a wide array of tools to support the software development process, including source code managers, also called as SCM, integration developments, IDEs, continuous integrations, continuous deployment suite, which is CI/CD suites, and more. So DevOps practices across an organization, increasing a risk and limiting the speed and safety and quality of a software delivery. So to mitigate this risk and streamline the DevOps process, the world's leading companies use tools like JFrog Artifactory. So let's explore how DevOps team use JFrog Artifactory, and I will discuss the features and some best practices on repository naming, repository types, package naming, etc., and how we can incorporate some of our things under Dev Security Ops, which is DevSecOps. Right. So as we called out, JFrog Artifactory is an universal binary repository manager that was created to speed up development cycles. This means that it's only a repository, but also a highly capable manager that aids in organizations' multiple repositories to easier distribute software development process. So as JFrog Artifactory is full binary lifecycle management across your organization in a single system. And integrates with your autonomous tools like secure integrity, improve observability, and enable the best practices that accelerate your production for continuous software updates. So an Artifactory repository, sometimes also referred to as a binary repository, and it also deploys, manages, maintains some multiple versions, and various types of artifacts from your central location. Okay, so just to call out, the name of Artifactory reflects the fact that it can host a type of artifacts needed in your software development factory. So let's answer yourself the question, what is an Artifactory manager? So I want you to pause for a minute and try to answer that. Or if you're coming back from your pausing your video, from my view, or JFrog documentation says Artifact Manager is a system or application responsible for having all types of artifacts generated during software development and deployment process. An artifact can be anything that is produced as a result of a development process, such as source code, binaries, documentation, and config files. Okay. For the DevOps teams, the artifact fills with a gap that existing in CI/CD pipelines between software development and software delivery. And DevOps teams typically use tools like SCMs, IDEs, like VS Code, Eclipse, or IntelliJ, etc., and continuous integration servers to build a software such as a Jenkins, Agro CD, or Spinnaker, Team CI, Harness, etc. Then they have to deliver it to a deployment environment where it will run your software. Storage of that software artifacts intended for a later delivery into your typical handled by uh, SCMs and other tools during a software development process. So Artifact bridges a gap by providing a place to store and manage your binaries and artifacts until they are needed. Okay, so we're technically for other developers, CI pipelines, distributed runtime environment, or any other consumption point, the entire life cycle of a binary, including uh, curation, creation, promotion, distribution, and archival is seamlessly handled by Artifactory. So technically, if you see a big picture, everything in under one platform of a JFrog, where you can do all this stuff. So DevOps teams also uses Artifactory to proxy public repositories and provide a robust caching strategy, which serves to prevent latency and outage issues and allow developers to apply the same security measures they would to their own local repositories. So additionally, storing all the binaries in one place means every programming language binaries and the project has been built, all the stuff is going to be. So that will help you to find, remediate any issues vulnerabilities are discovered. Right. So Artifactory supports and equipped to DevOps teams as they evolve over time, no matter which software they use and which ones they need tomorrow after an Artifactory can remain a constant resource for all your open source as well as your internal binaries. Right. So let's call out some of our key features of our Artifactory. Starts with an integration where Artifactory is then a single tool that can talk to all your different technologies and also increase your productivity, reduce maintenance efforts, and promoting automated integration between different parts. So designed from the ground up to fit into any of your development ecosystem. Our Artifactory also manages any repository layout offering to a native level support for all your package formats. And Artifactory helps to keep your data centered and automated pipelines ticking so that your business is always running best. So whatever happens setting up your Artifactory with a high availability ensures that your Artifactory will continue to be available. So from permissions management to WAF integrations and corporate your authentication services, Artifactory offers fine-grained of access controls to your binaries through any layer of your security. And you can determine your workflows. Artifactory gives you the tool to implement it from extreme search capabilities to extend functionality and repository analytics. Artifactory is flexible enough to meet any corporate policy. The most standard plus and customizable metadata properties captured for enhanced insight, which we're going to talk about that too, metadata information. And Artifactory cloud with an CDN solutions such as Amazon CloudFront, also enterprise users to manage, control, and distribute high volumes of a software distribution across multiple locations. So the fully integrated advanced CDN feature it comes with an entire software stack and complexity of setting up your separate external CDN caching system. Right. So the Artifactory has 4 repository types: a local, remote, virtual, and a distribution, which I did not show here as a distribution. I'll call out why I did not mention it. Local and remote repositories are true physical repositories, while your virtual repositories and aggregation of your local and remote repositories to create control domains for a search and resolution of your artifacts. So distribution repositories are a special case for exporting a data from Artifactory to your edge services or in a remote locations where you want to manage that. Okay, so local repositories are physical, as I called out, local managed repositories which you can deploy artifacts typically. These are used to deploy your internal or external resources as well as your development builds. But they can also be used to store binaries that are not widely available on public repositories. Remote repositories serves as a caching proxy for repositories managed at a remote site, such as Maven repositories or Python repositories, or Docker Hub proxies. I can do that. Artifacts are stored and updated in a remote repositories according to your various configuration parameters that control your caching and proxy behavior. So virtual repositories encapsulate any value of your local and remote repositories and represent them as an unified repository accessed from your single URL. So I'll try to give you a demo as part of my stuff. I'll show you all the stuff, how this can be done. So in general, distributed repositories, as I called out, which I did not mention here wantedly, provide an easy way to move artifacts for distribution to your end users. Right. Now, JFrog recommends 4 parts of your naming structure when you're defining your repositories. And I called out here the general pattern is team, tech, maturity, and locator. So when you say a team, your team can be your project name or can give your team name. Here I called out as an hello world. And when it comes to technology, largely refers type of a tool or a package. For example, MVN is used for abbreviation for Maven, Apache Maven projects, if the projects are built using a Maven. But if you are using a Gradle, you can do abbreviation of a Gradle or Docker or something. Right? So the maturity refers to as a package maturity level. For example, here it can be a snapshot or a release, mostly standard way. Most of the Maven projects, they use it in Java project world. So that's where the maturity level of a package. So snapshot is still there in development phase. Typically, this also can be done when the artifact changes its a control state. The locator is generally referred to as a physical topology of your artifact. For example, here is a local or a remote or a virtual, which we call out. Each repository's topology must be unique. Local repositories are truly a local, meaning the content is managed or uploaded locally. Should ends with always hyphen local. So although the team granularity can be a bit of a challenge, this granularity is usually decided according to organizational security, performance, and operability concerns. It's all up to you while you may have to adjust granularity over time. Good naming conversion combined with the using a virtual repositories can make this relatively painless process within your team. So JFrog software bill of materials, which is also called as a SPOM, is a readable inventory of a software, components and dependencies, and provide full traceability of packages involved during the build and release process. So the JFrog build info is a feature of JFrog Artifactory that captures a detailed information about the builds of the software project. It also plays a crucial role in continuous integration, continuous deployment pipelines, just CI/CD pipelines, by capturing build metadata such as an environment, dependencies, versions, control details, providing a comprehensive visibility into the build process. So I'll give you a small quick overview or the demo. As part of a demo, I'm going to show you all this stuff. But let's finish this content and we'll go for a demo. Right. So JFrog release lifecycle management solution pretty much centers around controlling the flow of a new version of a release bundles, which are created with a platform UI or using a REST APIs from several methods such as build outputs. So the set of artifacts that defines the release candidate is wrapped in the release bundle, which is signed with its content. So technically, the release bundle can be promoted towards your production via different stages, also known as your dev, QA, or integration staging and a production. Also can distribute it to your distribution edges. So as I was calling out, JFrog build info and release bundle supports continuous integrations and continuous delivery workflows by enabling developers to understand the context and history of the builds, and some useful information is available for your developers as well as information security professionals. So based on this, I'll talk about how this SBOM will be helpful for different personas, especially for developers and information security professionals or information security organization. So I'll start with the developer. The first one is always traceability. Build information provides detailed information about your build environment, dependencies, and some more parameters used during the build process. This helps technically helps developers trace back issues to a specific build and facilitating debugging and troubleshooting. With the build information, developers can recreate build environments exactly as they were during a previous build. This pretty much ensures consistency across builds and helps avoid works on my machine scenario, right? And the version control integration is build information is often integrated within any VCS version control systems, also enabling developers to associate specific builds with the code changes, which enhance collaboration and allows for better tracking of changes over time. Dependency management includes about dependencies used in the build process. Developers can use this information to ensure that correct dependencies are included and managed effectively. Right. And compliance captures, build information captures for compliance reasons in metadata related to a build process, which can be valuable for compliance purpose. So developers can use this information to demonstrate adherence to regulatory requirements or organizational policies. Now, if we look at an information security professional persona, definitely the first one is always security vulnerability analysis, which build information includes all this details about the dependencies, including a third-party libraries and components, internal packages. This information helps can be used all this information to identify security vulnerabilities in dependencies and take appropriate remediation actions. And the enforcement security policies related to a software composition analysis. It's also called as a SCA, and license compliance and vulnerability management. Information security team can define policies based on build information metadata and automatically enforce them during the build process. So the auditing and compliance comprehensive audit trails of a build process, including all dependencies, environment configurations, and information security professionals can use this audit trail for compliance reporting, auditing purposes, and incident response. And risk management can analyze build info for security posture of software builds and identify potential risk. Pretty much it helps them to mitigate security threats before they escalate. And all this integrated with various security tools and platforms such as vulnerability scanners and SCA tools. So all this is data can be visibility of security related information and facilitating automated security check during the entire build process. All right, so let's get on our demo session where to get on a demo, the first point we need is an JFrog CLI tool, which already I deployed on my machine. And also I'm running over my Docker for a Jenkins, where I put everything as part of my Docker image. You can see here, I have everything under one Docker image where JFrog CLI has been installed, and so that way I can take advantage of all this stuff in my Docker image. And so let's go to my Jenkins, where you can see that I have a package. Recently, for a few minutes back, I built the entire project. Oh, sorry, I picked the wrong project. So I'll go over the step-by-step of this one, Jenkins pipeline. Then we'll go and relate all this information against our Artifactory, which have been configured. Okay, so this is my recent build. You can see here, it's been executed 34 minutes ago before I was recording this. So I have a few certain stages. This is a pretty simple pipeline where I have an init checking for all this information where I can start it setting up. And highly I suggested, if you see here, I was setting up my JFrog Artifactory repository information where this information is going to be coming in. Right? Then I clone my Git. This is the standard. I'm not using any different what I was doing it. So just calling as a Spring Pet Clinic project, which I did for my project during interview process. That's the same repository code I was using it. Right, and this is an audit I was using. If you see anything here, JF, it's technically I'm using a JFrog CLIs where I was doing an audit part. You can see here my command. I'm provided MVN. So this was doing an entire my audit of pom.xml. It will print it up all the security part. So this can be done in more in different format like a JSON and all. This is my second week, so I'm picking most of the standard formats. The later stages and all, I'm gonna use this vulnerability report in different formats. And if I have a really critical stuff, I want to set it up the build failure, which I'm going to do that in future videos. So let's keep that as a simple here, but I can see all my vulnerability report of my Spring project, and it tells me that what kind of this is extendable table format I was doing it. So you can see here, this is a command. If I don't provide this extendable table, these are the last 3 columns of a data will not show up. So there's a view, you'll miss it. This 3 I identified. I think there might be 1 or 2 columns might be missing out, but I want you to guys, if you're doing this, looking at this content, please go through C without using extendable and with extendable, so you can find a difference. So this is a really value-added information for me in terms of what kind of a vulnerabilities, what is a CVE report has been aligned to this kind of a criticality, and whether it's a critical and high. If I'm playing in as an information security persona, definitely I try to resolve these issues before I put this package into a production environment. So especially critical high, I want them to be resolved ASAP. Generally, if I'm an information security persona, definitely I do not want to see any high and critical on my production environment. But for mediums, I might give you some time. Lower, it's technically as it says low, you can prioritize it and I can get it done resolution of this vulnerabilities. Okay, so now after this, there's a compile and publish. This is a pretty simple. I'm also using a JFrog CLI command. The art is Artifactory, just want to let you know. Once you do a help of a JFrog, you'll get all the stuff. So, and other part, this part of information is technically MVN standard. I use it. If I don't use the JFrog CLI, this MVN command I run through everything. And here, as part of my JFrog RT, I'm providing a build name and build number. So this is picking up from my directly as an environment of a Jenkins, which I'll show you here. Jenkins file. You can see here, this is how I configure my Jenkins file. Okay, so the job name and job build ID. So that's how the numbers keep on generating it. All right, so this gives me pretty straightforward. It makes sure that it builds everything and it uploads to Artifactory. I'll go over that. Just we'll come back and I'll point you everything. Then finally, not finally, there's I'm doing a build publish. This is where it generates entire build information, which we talked about build information on our previous slide, where I can use this build information to promote to a next environment. It's also, this contains all the details about the build, the transit dependencies, everything as part of a Java project, right? And the scan is an build scan. I'm doing it. You can see here the scans over my build information and it picks it up. All right. So let's go to our Artifactory where I can show you all the stuff where it has been built, so we can correlate all the stuff. So if we call out here, you can see here JFrog Artifactory has been plugged in. So I package this. I'll go over the first part, which we talked about on virtual. Taking you one step back here, going back to a project where you can see here. Okay, login. Okay. All right. So you can see here in virtual, I have a combination of a remote and a local. So if you see here, all my projects are the dependencies what I'm using it. They've been here. And I'll want to show you one part, which is, okay, I'll open a new one here because I already authenticated, so I don't need to go over again. Right. So this is my remote. You see pretty much the same what has been seen in a virtual as everything, but the only difference you don't see here is the dev part. I think Spring, it's a pet clinic project I'm talking about. Let me, oops. Okay, this one I'm trying to capture. Let's see. I'll remove this palm so that way we can see all this stuff. Okay, it's under Maven. Same project. I'll go over the same thing. I try to capture this one. You will not see this under remote. Okay, the samples is here. Under samples, I do not have anything. It's pretty much null. So you can see here under virtual is it. Now, if I go back to same thing under local, I'll not find it. I'll tell you why you don't find this again under a local. So if you remembered, oh, this is the old one. If you see here, they are dated 23rd because I did some issue when I was creating a repository. But if I go to a dev, you'll see there. So this is where we was talking about the recent part. You can see here, this is one which has been uploaded on 26, I think 13, 19, this should be one of our timestamp, the recent one. It's updated. I think this one might be this two might be today's upload of my build, right? So now let's going back to I created a virtual. As part of a virtual, I defined my default repository. Anything has been plugged in, so they will go to a dev environment. So that will help me to map easily. The reason is I want to do this on a promotion to a QA anytime I upload. So this is what I'm talking about, default deployment, and how this all this dev and QA, which I'm going to do promotion to a next video recording on this, how to promote from my dev to package promotion or to a dev to a QA, which is all this stuff are built it here. Okay, so we talked about repositories now, everything. Now let's go to our if I go back my previous slides, I'll just go over the previous slide. We talked about this slide. Here we talked about the repositories. We talked about enabling structures, how I defined it. Now let's go to discuss about our next build information and release bundles, which I'll show you, which has already been there here. My build information. Okay, so it's under build. So if I go to my Artifactory, so I should see under builds. So I've been created the project name is my build. So it should be here, Spring. And my build, if you guys remember, it's a 15. So this is my 15 build. It has some X-ray status high. So that means it has some vulnerabilities, the high vulnerabilities. So you can see here how my vulnerability, and if you want to see it in a JSON format, there's a pretty huge JSON. You can see all this stuff, the entire package. So for example, I might not, in my pom.xml, I might not define in my project how to configuring a log4j or something. But this transient dependencies, it might have all the details here. So it will pull out all the information and it'll keep it here, everything for me. So that's more value added. I've seen it as part of our build information, especially from a security perspective. I can provide a transient dependency because as a developer, I always say that, oh, I'm not using this library, but because my pom.xml does not have any of that information. But when it comes to my transient dependency, how my project is using it, that is where I can see that information under my build.info, which is really value added for me. So one of the example I can call out here is log4j. So if you see here, I do not have anything SF, but if I go back to my transient, let me copy this information and put it in, so I can search. I should have, okay, so if I go to SF, it looks like it's a big one. Let me see. Okay. Wow, I have 26 logging. So if you see a log back or a JBoss logging, I did not define any of that information in my POM, but build.info has all this information. So the transient data will help me from, especially from security perspective, when I do X-ray scans and all, they have all this information, whether the package has any vulnerability, all this stuff. Then how do I work within support team or any product team? How do I get that resolution of projects can be issued and solved, and I can promote my package to moving forward. So that will help me all this stuff here, right? So now let's go to our scan report. This should also be available here under X-ray scan. Where is, let's see, there should be my project. There you go. My last build number is 15. It's the same. I'm not following any difference. I just calling out in my Jenkins file. It's everything is my build number. Oh, there you go. BS scan. So all this helps me to configure my information here, and everything is standard, nothing different. I was doing it. So this also gives me a lot of analysis, internal analysis. I can see this, my package has about 5 highs, 5 mediums, and 1 low. And I can work with an internal team, information security team, see how I can get them remediated. And I can work with our experts, security experts, and also with the JFrog support team, see how I can remediate these issues and I can move forward. All right. So as I stated all this stuff as part of a demo, I hope this everything I captured for this week, and next week I'll come back and doing some more hands-on scenarios. All right. I hope this is recorded a lot of information. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.